marathon runner, originally from Africa,
Okay.
but she now runs for the Dutch. That's how this girl. Sorry, let me correct it so that you know that where her resilience came from. She's originally a refugee from Ethiopia.
Oh.
Um, who went to Netherlands, and then she runs for, so she competes for them, but she, of course, she kept her name. So Sifan Hassan gets in for the first time. I mean, you see her at the Olympics, you see her at the World Championships. She's a name you'd remember, but she doesn't do road running. And so she decided that she's going to do a marathon yesterday. And so she joined. That's how this girl, halfway through the marathon, she's just like, my hip is paining me. So she stopped. She now started to stretch. And you have to remember, this is a marathon, so every second counts. Other people are running past. She's stretching. She's limping. People are saying, "This girl, you should give up. It's not like you're running for eternal life. Just we already know you're good on the track.
Right.
Just leave this road." This girl continued. She continued. Chased down the Olympic champion of marathon, overtook her, forgot that she was supposed to take water from the side. Then remember that she had to take water from the side.
She went back.
Then she went, then she went across and said, "Let me collect the water." Then she collected water. She almost collided with the bike guy that was filming them. Because, like I said, this is not what she does normally. She still won the race.
What?
I was just like, okay, I really don't like Sifan Hassan, but I was like, this is jazz.
Wow.
But it was one of the most impressive and dramatic marathon race running I've seen. And everybody was just, like if you didn't send that, I didn't send that before. But yesterday, I was like, okay. I mean, so because she she's very good on track. That's why I don't like her. I'm just like, leave these medals for Africa. You've left Africa. Leave the medals behind. But she's good. So yeah, Sifan Hassan, I applaud you.
Wow.
That was a great run this weekend.
Brilliant.
That was a great run.
Wow.
But we'll be talking more about NBA, what happened in the NBA, what Steph Curry almost did to his legacy last night. We'll be talking about all of that. We'll be talking about Arsenal. Yeah, what they didn't do. And many more. But before then, Zibby, tell us, how can we be a part of this show?
0809 440 981. That's the WhatsApp number. You can also tweet at Smooth981. Don't forget the hashtag. It's hashtag the locker room 981. And of course, we're streaming live on YouTube, so you can see Tega practicing her air punching. Right. So just search for Smooth981. You can catch the live stream and post a comment on there as well. All right, the headlines: NBA playoffs, Golden State Warriors and New York Knicks, and wins in first round. Iga Swiatek beats Aryna Sabalenka, and Carlos Alcaraz, who is Tega's favorite player, by the way, sees off Stefanos Tsitsipas. Now, Arteta defiant despite another Arsenal slip-up. Tuchel at a loss after Bayern humbled by Mainz. Man United will fight to derail Man City's treble bid. That's according to Ten Hag. Torres earns Barca win over Atletico as Sevilla stun Villarreal. Spalletti urged Inter Milan striker Romelu Lukaku. Okay, I'm going to come back to that one. And let's see. Lukaku suspension overturned after racism row.
Yes, we had to shout and wave our hands and kick and scream. They were shouting in every studio. I don't think it's just the fans that are shouting. I think it's because, different studio analysis had taken this thing global. They're not like, okay, let's just grudgingly do this. Now overturned it with one speech. I refuse to take the speech. I decided to just take what Lukaku said. But we'll get to that story eventually. So let's start from the NBA. What happened last night?
Defending champions Golden State Warriors held off a fourth quarter comeback from the Sacramento Kings to win a thriller in the NBA playoffs.
Yes, so huge one last night. Remember the series, the Sacramento Kings won their 2 games at home. So they traveled now to play their other 2 games in Oakland at Chase Center against Golden State Warriors. Remember, it's the best of 7 series. They get there, game 3. Golden State Warriors win to make it 2-1. So it was important that Golden State Warriors again won this game 4, knowing that their next game is a road game and they have a horrible record on the road this season. So regular season they were 9-30, so 9 wins, 30 losses on the road. Playoffs so far they are 0-2 on the road. So they've lost the 2 games they played on the road so far. So their horrible record continues. So then it was important for them to win last night at the at the Chase Center. Otherwise, they were staring the elimination in the face. Because I mean, if you are struggling on the road, you're struggling.
Yeah.
So they get into the game with the same, you know, urgency and desperation that the game required. Their big name players to stepping up. Draymond Green was back for suspension. So he was playing.
3 games already?
No, it was just one.
It was one for
yeah.
stomping on someone's chest.
Yeah, it was one game. Ideally, it shouldn't have even been a game. It should have just been the ejection. You know, they ejected him. But because he has a reputation. He has a reputation. Oh, come on, they trade blows in the NBA and they.
I know what that was. He could have just shattered that guy's spleen, his liver, his heart, and everything else in that region.
Not even remotely. That guy who made it more dramatic. I was like, I was like, someone is you.
Milk it.
Exactly. You like they use a tree trunk to wipe you. You still be standing. Hey, come on. But let's just. But he was back from suspension. So the court was set as it were for a massive throwdown, and both teams were throwing it down, and it didn't matter which team had what momentum at what time. The lead was never really extended to the fact that it looked beyond the other team. So everybody was keeping close marks. And Golden State Warriors eventually took the lead. At some point, they stretched it to 10 points. But again, Kings came back. Like I said, the lead was never really out of reach for everybody. And Steph Curry played a massive role in that game. So here is Steph Curry now. I have to remind him. Legend Steph Curry. Future Hall of Famer Steph Curry. The guy who scored 36 points in game 3 to get them that win. And then scored 32 points in this game to keep them ahead. Now had a brain fart moment, and it was at the wrong time. So it is 121, 126. There's about a minute on the clock, just about a minute on the clock. Steph Curry is trapped by 2 people guarding him. Now, unlike the play before where he released the ball to his teammate, this guy calls a timeout. Now, here's where the problem is. Golden State Warriors have no timeouts left. And now, if you call a timeout when you have no timeout left, you give a technical to the other team. So that's 1 free throw. And then you give them possession. So you give, so he calls a timeout at the wrong moment, gives out the technical, 1 free throw. Monks takes it, scores it. So it becomes 122, 126. Then possession now goes back to the Kings as the rules are. Guess what? The Kings score a 3-pointer from that possession. So the game is now 1 point. Now they give the ball to Steph Curry. Has one of the best shooters in the game. Sorry, in the history of the game. Not just the game of last night. Not just the game that where he was leading scorer for Golden State Warriors, but in the history of the game of the NBA. And I'm talking of NBA with all the legends that you know, Michael Jordan, mention them. This guy takes the ball, gets into the paint, throws up a floater, and misses with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now remember, it's a 1-point game. Then Sacramento Kings call a timeout, which they have, and they move the ball up front from the timeout. They have 10 seconds on the clock. In basketball, that's a lot of time. They inbound the ball, and everybody just like,
this is it.
Golden State Warriors have lost the game, and it's Steph Curry that's done it. Steph Curry, I called on the spirit. Now, this is me, a neutral NBA fan. I don't really care if Golden State Warriors win, but I want to see some basketball. I called on the spirit of Andrew Wiggins' defense. I called on the one angel that Draymond Green had left, because I'm not sure how they have anymore. I was like, defense come from somewhere. They inbound the ball. Steph Curry now even almost steals the ball from the guy. So he takes out some time from the shot clock. And then when they pass the ball back to Fox, he has to rush his shot. So he throws up a 3 and he misses. and the buzzer goes out. I was just like, thank you, Jesus. And I'm not even a Golden State Warriors fan. I can imagine that at that point, Steph Curry is speaking in tongues like, Holy Spirit, you did it for me, because he would have lost them the game. And you can imagine what that would have meant for them. So great win, dramatic win for Golden State Warriors. That series is now tied all to they go again on what's today? Monday. They go again on Wednesday. Unfortunately, not so much drama with the New York Knicks and Cavaliers. I expected that series to be tight because it was a team that finished fourth playing against a team that finished fifth. But at the end of the day, it just seems like the New York Knicks know how to play better basketball, and they've taken the Cleveland Cavaliers to the cleaners. Yes, even last night Julius Randle, one of the best players for New York Knicks, had only 7 points. They still won. You don't understand. 7 points game all through. They won.
Wow.
Exactly. So I'm just like, Cleveland, what? Let's just throw in the towel and know that it's over. But and let's talk about, we're going to fight back. We are going back to Cleveland. We're going to make it tough. I'm just like, people should calm down. LeBron James is not here. It's not like you're going to invoke his spirits to come and win this tournament. But hey, let's see how they rally back. But so far, they are 3-1 down in the series. And remember, Knicks have already nicked one game in Cleveland, so it's not out of reach. So yeah, unfortunately, that's been a disappointing series.
Oh, wow. And okay, let's read a message and then we'll go on to a break. Or should we talk about tennis?
Yeah, I think we can quickly take
minutes for that. Okay. So Iga Swiatek beat Aryna Sabalenka. Okay, you know what? Let's just go straight into the story. Iga Swiatek, Carlos Alcaraz won in straight sets to retain their titles in Stuttgart and Barcelona, respectively.
Yes. So the world number one Iga Swiatek gets on the court. I remember I told you she had an injury last week, came back this week, and it was like she'd never gone anywhere. It was set up again against Aryna Sabalenka, who is one of the informed players on the tour, but she beat her like she was an amateur. So now I can guarantee you that Iga Swiatek has 2 Porsches in her garage. Because yeah, when you win the tournament, you don't just get the points, you don't just get the money, you get a new Porsche.
Oh wow. Wow.
I wish you should come and teach me tennis. But yes, a quick walk there. With the men's tennis though, again, Carlos Alcaraz, he also had an injury. Missed the tournament. Remember, he missed the Masters in Paris. Then he came back to Barcelona, and he won this title without dropping a set. Played Tsitsipas in the final. Tsitsipas is one of the guys that will be dogged. Even if you beat him, you make you work for it. It was straight sets, and it seemed easy. And even Tsitsipas was just like, you're younger than I am, but a lot of us are looking up to you. I was like, you have to. This specimen here, he's going to dominate tennis for a while if injuries allow him. But yeah, so both the youngsters, Iga 21, I think, Alcaraz 19, won their title. So congratulations to both of them.
Wow, good news. Let's see what the crew say.
Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, crew says that gist about the marathon sounds like something from Telematch of Hello. No! It was real life, and it was Sifon Hassan giving us real life entertainment. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
It's a groove thing.
They actually have 2 Porsches now. Can you imagine just having cars without buying any?
Sorry?
Can you imagine just having those cars without buying any?
I mean,
so even Mercedes has a tournament.
Tega, what kind of evil laugh is that? Oh
my goodness!
Oh wow!
It's not easy.
Wow, are you serious? Get a brand new Porsche?
I'm telling you.
Damn.
So she has to, because she won it last year, and she's won it again this year.
Wow.
And if there's one.
She the one from Belarus?
No. Oh no.
Where's she from?
She's Polish. She beat the Belarusian.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows I'm from Belarus. I was so happy when they were beating her. Yes, I have bad belly like that. I was so happy when they beat her. I was like, beat her some more.
Beat her on behalf of her president.
You understand? It's not enough. Wipe her cord around her neck. But yeah,
Oh my God.
you can only beat her in tennis. You can't physically beat her. But yeah, so she's won. There's also even the Mercedes tournament.
Why do you look exhausted?
I only have 2 years. They have no.
Everyone's okay. Who else?
There's nobody outside.
Oh, you went outside? Okay, it's no more dark. I'll eat my head. I'm thinking you went outside. It's dark.
Yes, I'm done. So I'm actually sending. I want to edit the other. I want to edit the first one together.
Yeah.
That one separate.
Yeah.
It is.
So you know what they'll say? Their names and occupation. Okay.
It's a good one. Okay, we're back.
Almost Tega. If I don't trust you.
I mean,
Thank you.
I'm not bad like that.
My reputation.
Your own. I will laugh. I may not cause it, but I will laugh.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Let's read. Where are all your messages, people? We're waiting for your messages. Oh, you're back.
Well. You're in the locker room with Tega and Zibby. We're talking about sports and everything related. We're streaming live on YouTube as well, so you can catch the live stream, post a comment. You can just search for a Smooth 981 on YouTube, and you can also send your messages through via WhatsApp 0809 440 981. Arsenal. Now, the odds on Arsenal claiming their first Premier League title in a very long time are lengthening by the game, but manager Mikel Arteta says he believes that his young side can hold Manchester City at bay.
Well, that game doesn't come too soon for this mark that he's making, because they play that game on Wednesday.
Ooh.
That match is on Wednesday, so that Arsenal take on Manchester City then, and that will maybe put the nail in the coffin, and then Manchester City can do dust to dust with the rest of the games. But what it is so far is that Arsenal has blown a lead. If it was already a shaky lead at the top of the table, but now they've made it almost improbable. And it was on Friday against Southampton. Again, remember what I said on Friday morning. It is Southampton. These are the kind of teams that Arsenal will struggle against. Remember that they lost to Everton. Everton was battling relegation. They lost to West Ham. At the time, West Ham was trying to get out of relegation. West Ham are now comfortably out of that fight. They struggled against Liverpool, who are struggling. They struggled, but eventually won against Bournemouth. So it's the teams that they tend to struggle against are teams that are kind of going through tough times. I think teams that are already like, you know what, we have nothing else to lose, might as well just play. Those are the teams Arsenal struggled against, and they came into this game against Southampton knowing that they needed to win this game,
Right.
for the simple, apart from the fact of what the table was saying, the simple reason that in the last 2 games before the game against Southampton, they had led by 2 goals and still ended up dropping 2 points. So it was imperative that they came out of this game, came out of the blocks playing well and keeping their full concentration. Turns out that's not what happened, because it wasn't even 1 minute into the game when Ramsdale gave away the ball and they scored a goal. And to make matters worse, they conceded the second goal. And I think it was less than a quarter into the game that they conceded 2 goals. And so you're thinking, if a team wants to win a title, knowing that they've dropped 4 points in the last 2 games, shouldn't they come a little better and a little more serious in this game? They didn't do that. Yeah, I mean, watching the game, I knew that there was always time for Arsenal to come back. Even when it was 3-1, there was still time for Arsenal to come back. And they did pull the comeback, but they couldn't pull the comeback completely because they ended up in a 3-3 draw when what they needed was a win. So yes, they have put themselves in a precarious position. It's just 5 points between Arsenal and Manchester City, and Manchester City have 2 games in hand. Now, I only like to count games, points on the board. However, you cannot ignore the form that Manchester City are in currently right now, the quality of players Manchester City has, and the experience that Manchester City has in title championships. For goodness sakes, this is a defending champion. So the least you can do is fear that. So it's going to be a tough task for Arsenal. But Mikel Arteta is saying that he knows a secret that we don't know, and he's about to beat Pep Guardiola. So I'm waiting to see him beat Pep Guardiola and get all 3 points against Manchester City. But it's going to be a tough ask for Arsenal to retain this title, especially considering that Arsenal and Manchester City have also won in the FA Cup. They're going for the treble. It's not looking good for Arsenal, but they can talk. I mean, even the faces of the players were sad. You could tell from the face of players that they're like, Otilo. Yeah,
wow.
they play. So in fact, I was trying to practice something for idols. I have something I want to do for idols, and I believe you'll tell me if I'm good, right or wrong.
I would tell you.
Yeah. So it's a very nice one. Should I go?
Are you sure you want to do this live on air?
Your
Your reputation is at stake.
My friends will tell me. Tayo is listening, and Emeka, they will tell me.
Okay.
So this one I've practiced it. Otilo, Arsenal.
Oh wow.
Your Premier League title.
Oh.
Otilo. How did I do? I should go for the audition.
I wouldn't say so.
You're such a terrible person.
But
I'm going wait, John. Let me listen to what Tayo has to say. Tayo is my friend. Tayo, tell me if I should go. Bruce said I should go. All right. Tayo says, where is he? Okay, this is a message.
Something interesting. Okay, you might need to go down. Let's scroll down.
Okay, this is not working for me.
Okay, something is not right somewhere.
Oh yeah, I see what it is. Tega's press play.
Okay, yes. Right there now.
So he says,
Arsenal were just keeping the seat warm for Man City. Nature forbids a vacuum. Wow, the tree couldn't hold the elephants again. Pep really has the league in his back pocket.
And Emeka Nelu says,
from the way Arsenal is playing, it's obvious they lack the liver to fight for this title.
Oh.
On the bright side, we'll be hearing Champions League music at the Emirates next season. Lastly, Tega, you didn't talk about Tottenham chopping 5 goals under 21 minutes. Woo, at Newcastle. Conte must be sitting somewhere in his vacation chair, sipping his iced tea and gloating in satisfaction.
All right, so we would have talked about Tottenham, but we like to talk about people that are going somewhere. Cruz, what's this? Josh, now the song was sweet. Josh says, Tega, please stay in the locker room.
Wow.
And Chinwenasi says,
I'm afraid to say this, Arsenal have lost this EPL to City. It's just like saying Arsenal committed something in the 9th month. They've been topping this league from day one and they are about to lose it. Arsenal, EPL, Otilo.
My hit song is coming. Even Chinwenasi has said it. Arsenal, EPL, Otilo, yes.
Oh, wow.
And this message is from Olumide from Lekki. He said,
don't quit your day job.
Thank
you, Olumide.
You guys are just wicked. I'm going for that America. If you like, I'm going for that American Idol, and if you like, people should not vote for me. No,
we won't. Cruz says, let's not write Arsenal off now. Allow them use their legs to do themselves.
They've already done themselves.
No.
Well, like I said, Wednesday will determine what really happens to the Arsenal season.
Wow.
Shegun,
well, they came so close, though. I really hope.
Shegun from Ikorodu says,
let's see. Tega, Shokmai Otilo. It's more like Tega, Zibby. Shegun from Ikorodu.
And so Taya says, so Conte was right to rant about Tottenham performance because how do you lose scandalously? Now Poch is looking to Chelsea. Tega, start a choir. Thank you. Zibby will join because yes. Thank you, Tayo. I can't sing now. All right, let's take the next story.
All right, so going on to our next story, Bayern Munich manager Thomas Tuchel says he was at a loss and had no explanation for his side's second half capitulation in a 3-1 defeat at Mainz on Saturday.
I want to tell him something. You see, when a team runs out of steam towards the end of their matches, and it didn't just happen with Mainz, it happened in the Champions League. You saw them play brilliantly for 60 minutes and then something happened to their defense, and then that's when they lost. You saw them also play brilliantly, then give away a penalty. There's always that struggle when the team starts running out of steam towards the last minute. I just want to tell Thomas Tuchel that that's a management problem. It's not a player problem. If a player is fatigued, you should be able to see and say, you know what, that player started to lose his legs, he started to make mistakes, make the right substitutions. So this is his problem. Why he's perplexed is beyond me. And this is the guy that won the Champions League. I will just say this, that even a lot of people have been saying this about Bayern sacking Julian Nagelsmann at the time that Julian Nagelsmann was fired. I would say this, that Bayern had struggled to get the results even prior to Julian Nagelsmann's sacking. The difference was they were struggling, but they were getting the results. Now, under Thomas Tuchel, they are struggling and are not getting the results. They are reminding me of my brother's car. There was one time my brother drive. You enter my brother's car, everything looks good, and then so you know how it is. Last man stopped him, and they decided that they were going to drive his car away, and they couldn't drive the car because he's the only one that knew how to start the car. That's exactly how Bayern is now looking. It's like they're looking like Julian Nagelsmann is the only one that has the key to start this setup that he has done. And unfortunately for Thomas Tuchel, he's the manager and he's the one that will be fired. But yes, Bayern have a problem of maintaining concentration throughout the match. They considered 3 goals in 14 minutes. Like, that was it. It was done. And losing that match meant they lost their position at the top of the table, because Dortmund eventually won their match by 4-0, and they are now sitting at the top of the table. So for Bayern Munich to lose the Bundesliga, Champions League title, and the German Cup under Thomas Tuchel, when they were supposed to be going for a treble, it's a really tough pill to swallow. So I'm sure the hierarchy of Bayern will be scratching their heads as to what to do. And I can guarantee you that Thomas Tuchel will not last in that seat if he doesn't rescue something. So yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we have just about a minute to go, so we can take one last story.
So let's talk about Manchester United taking on Manchester City. That's going to be the FA Cup final. I think they'll be playing it on the 3rd of June. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one, especially for City, because remember, City is still in every race that is available. Manchester United is the only one, the FA Cup. So it's going to be a tough one for City, chasing, holding their position with Arsenal. So I think Arsenal fans will be happy for this, holding their position with Arsenal, chasing down the FA Cup, and still being in the Champions League especially as they're playing against Real Madrid. So really tough one for Manchester City, if they'll still have the legs by June 3rd to compete strongly for this. But Manchester United, yes, got here via penalties, and I would say that Brighton had chance after chance during the game to win that match. Unfortunately, they just didn't have the clinical abilities in the final third to finish it off, and it got down to penalties, and you know how it is. Manchester United won the penalties and they're through to the final. So yes, it's a Manchester derby, and yes, Ten Hag is bragging that I can get a second trophy and I can stop Manchester City from winning the treble. Those kind of things happen when you win a match, regardless of how you win the match. But yeah, this is the only thing they have to fight for. So I think they will all be saving their legs and their best for that final. So it just makes it interesting. It's a derby. There's all to play for on the line, and we wait to see who comes out the winner. All right. And before we go, let's close with this final message. Good morning, ladies. He says, Arsenal will win. Will what the league?
Will win.
No, there's
something the league.
Because it can be win or lose. He said he sends it. Arsenal will win the league. I'm waiting to see how that happens. Shegun for Ikorodu says, imagine how a partnership of Lindelof and Shaw worked for the first trial. If it was Maguire, it would have either been an assist or an own goal. Eric Ten Hag has fully seen the light. Hallelujah. And Tayo says, I'd like to congratulate Man City in advance for winning their match against Manchester United. How can Manchester United be dragging their leg with Brighton? And that's all we can take on the locker room. Thank you so much for joining us, even on this public holiday. Now you can go back to bed and sleep it off. And then on Wednesday, there'll be more banter. All right. So, Zibby, take it
Don't go back to bed. Stay with us on Smooth 98.1.
Oh, yeah. The show has not finished.